This is not a show about having answers. This is a conversation for the ones who stopped talking. For the ones carrying weight no one ever named. For the teenagers, the women, the ones in recovery, the ones still deciding. Pull up a chair. This is your seat. Sombra, her mother, is holding it all together, with nobody asking if she needs a hand. Somewhere a boy learned to swallow his feelings before he was old enough to understand. Somewhere a man wears his armor to breakfast. Somewhere a teen is just trying to breathe. Somewhere someone is standing at ground zero, deciding if healing is something to believe. This is the conversation nobody started. This is the weight that nobody named. This is the room where the real can come forward. You do not have to pretend anymore. Transformation talk, where the silence gets a voice. Transformation talk, where the hurting have a choice. Not a clinic, not a lecture, not a fix wrapped up in shame. Just the truth spoken clearly, so nothing stays the same. Transformation talk, come as you are.
I have never used alcohol or drugs. I want to be clear about that. Not as a point of pride, but because it matters for everything I'm about to say. I grew up watching addiction move through my family across 2 generations. I watched what it did to people I loved. I watched it take things from them that were never returned. And I carried what I witnessed for years before I had the language to name it accurately: my own wound. Today, we're talking about the people who never touched the substance and were changed by addiction anyway. Welcome back to Transformation Talk. I am Angela Armstrong. Today's episode is personal. I don't step into my own story often because this platform is built around the people that I serve, not around me. But today, the story I need to tell is my own. I believe people are listening right now who have been carrying what I carried for a very long time and who have never been given permission to call it a wound. Today, we give it that name. I use the phrase 2 generation witness deliberately. It means I witnessed addiction operating across 2 generations of my family, not as a user, as a child, and then as an adult, watching people I loved be consumed by something that moved through our bloodline like a current. And what nobody told me, what nobody tells most people in this position, is that witnessing addiction at close range does something to you. It changes how you read trust. It recalibrates what you expect from safety. It reshapes your threat detection so completely that you may not even notice it happened until decades later. I do want to be precise about one thing. Witnessing addiction is not the same as experiencing addiction, and I'm not conflating the two. The person in active addiction has their own particular battle, and that battle is not mine to claim. What I am saying is that the secondary experience, being a child in its proximity, loving someone consumed by it, watching it move through a family, is its own form of injury. It produces its own grief, its own adaptations, its own patterns that eventually need to be examined. And we don't talk about it nearly enough. When a child grows up in a household where addiction is present, they learn things, not in classrooms, in the body. They learn to read the room before they enter it. They learn to manage their emotional presentation with precision because unpredictability has taught them that the wrong signal at the wrong moment changes everything. They learn to be the stable one, the quiet one, the one who does not add to what is already difficult. They learn, in short, to disappear into function. I was that child, high functioning, responsible, dependable, and quietly carrying something that I had no name for. Looking back at it clearly now, I can see that some of the strength that I built came directly from needing to survive what I witnessed. That is not a tragedy. That capacity is real, and it has served me, but it also is not neutral. Strength built from necessity eventually needs to be examined because if you never examine it, it does not stay in capacity, it becomes armor, and armor has a cost. What I want to say directly to everyone who grew up watching addiction, who married into it, who raised a child through it, who loved someone and watched that person slowly disappear, your experience counts as well. You're not a footnote in someone else's recovery story. You have your own story, your own grief, your own patterns that were shaped by what you witnessed. And those patterns do not disappear just because you were not the one using them. The wellness and mental health community has gotten better at talking about the experience of addiction itself. What we have not gotten good enough at is the experience of the people in the perimeter, the spouse who recovered, the child who normalized, the sibling who kept the secret, the parent who had blamed themselves for 20 years. These are not supporting characters. They are carrying real weight and they deserve real support, not as an afterthought, not after everyone else has been addressed, but as a priority in their own right. The first act of healing for a witness is naming, not analyzing, not explaining, not justifying, just naming. This happened to me. I watched this. It affected me. I am still carrying this. That act of naming is not drama. It's not a bid for attention. It's a beginning of precision. You cannot calibrate an instrument that you refuse to look at directly. And you cannot build from a wound that you will not acknowledge exists. I want to be honest about something from my own journey. For a long time, I did not call what I experienced a wound. I compared it to the person in active addiction and told myself mine was lesser, that I did not have the right to name it. That comparison nearly cost me the healing that I needed. Suffering is not a competition. What happened to you does not need to be worse than someone else's experience to qualify for attention. If it shaped you, it counts. So name it. Once the witness has named what they carry, the work shifts. The goal is to move from reactor to architect. What I mean is this: you're not condemned to repeat what you watched. You're not destined to become what you feared. But that shift does not happen by default. It requires intentional work, a clear framework, and the decision to revise what was handed to you. The Bloodline Blueprint framework taught through Calibrated Resilience is built for exactly this. The premise is direct. The patterns operating in your family are not permanent architecture. They're the current blueprint, and blueprints can be revised. The people standing at the edge of that pattern, the witnesses, the ones who watched and survived, are the most powerful position to revise it. That's not a burden, that's leverage. Use it.
She sat across the table on her 16th birthday, and she said, "Mama, I wanna ask you something of you." I held my breath, prepared for the accounting, prepared to carry whatever she made me feel. She said, I wanna know how you did it, how you got back up the times you fell. I wanna know because I'm gonna need that story someday, some way, for something I can tell. What my daughter taught me was that honesty outlives the shame. What my daughter taught me was that love can hold the whole of what you became. What my daughter taught me was the woman she was becoming needed the truth of who I was more than she needed my protection. What my daughter taught me was that witness is the gift. I told her every ugly thing I'd hidden. I told her what the years of hiding cost. I told her about the nights she didn't know about. I told her what I nearly had and lost. She listened the whole way through without flinching. She said, Mama, that is the bravest thing I know. Not the getting sober, not the staying sober, but the telling it out loud so I could grow. What my daughter taught me was that honesty is the shame. What my daughter taught me was that love can hold the whole of what you became. What my daughter taught me was the woman she was becoming needed the truth of who I was more than she needed my protection. What my daughter taught me was that witness is the gift. But I was protecting her from the story I thought keeping quiet was a kind embrace. But she had already written her own version from the clues I left scattered all over the place. What she needed was my voice inside her version. What she needed was the truth so she could heal. The mother who gave fathers with her daughter is a something low amount of silence can reveal. She told me she was proud of me, that I couldn't let it in, because the woman she was proud of was not the performance, it was me. What my daughter taught me.
If you grew up watching addiction, or if you're watching it right now, I want to say this to you directly. Your experience is real. Your wound is valid, and you deserve the same quality of healing that the people you watched are being offered. You do not have to earn that, it already belongs to you. I want to thank you for being in this conversation with me today. It was not a light one to walk into, and I'm glad that you are here for it. Next week on Transformation Talk, we're going into something the men in our audience need to hear specifically: how addiction hides inside masculine identity, why that hiding extends the cycle longer than it has to, and what it takes to interrupt it. I'll see you there. Calibrated Resilience Music Library has 225 plus songs mapped to 5 emotional states: overloaded, armored, rebuilding, receiving, and leading. Take the 10-question intake quiz and get routed to exactly what you need right now. No clinical language, no labels, no barriers. Music that meets you where you are. Access the full library at calibratedresiliencemusic.com, where you can listen to Aurora's Stronghold for the carrier, for the woman who has been holding it all. It's streaming on Spotify and all other platforms. Elias Ironside, For the Man Who Witnessed It Too. For the Son Who Carried the Silence. You can stream that on Spotify and all streaming platforms as well. Find Your True North, Engineer Your Unbreakable.
There's a woman who's been strong for so many seasons. She forgot what it felt like to lay it down. There's a man who's been sober and counting the mornings, still trying to recognize who he's become. There's a teenager carrying bloodline patterns she didn't create, but she's living them out. And a family trying to find a way back to each other through all the wreckage, the silence, the doubt. This is the conversation nobody started. This is the weight that nobody named. This is the room where the real can come forward. You do not have to pretend anymore. Transformation talk, where the silence gets a voice. Transformation talk, where the hurting have a choice. Not a clinic, not a lecture, not a fix wrapped up in shame. Just the truth spoken clearly, so nothing stays the same. Transformation talk. Come as you are. You are not built to break in silence. You are not meant to carry this alone. Every story that you've been ashamed of is the very thing that brings somebody home. So speak it, name it, bring it into the open, where the light can reach. Transformation talk. Oh, the silence gets a voice. Transformation talk, where the hurting have a choice. Not a clinic, not a lecture, not a fix wrapped up in shame. Just the truth spoken clearly, so nothing stays the same. Transformation talk, where the teenagers find words. Transformation talk, where the women are finally heard. Where recovery is honest and the armor comes down slow. Transformation talk. This is how we grow. Amandla R. Strong. And this is Transformation Talk. Find your true north, engineer. You're unbreakable.